Hello, hello. Welcome to So Basic with a Little Extra. If we haven't met yet, my name is Anna Zagari, and I am a life coach, and I am here to hopefully give you a little extra inspiration, a little extra encouragement, or an extra laugh. So today we're going to talk about difficult moments. What happens when you're about to lose it? I don't know about you, but this is my basic story. My husband used to call me Rosie because he said I turned into a different person when I was angry. And Rosie comes like from red. And I don't know if you remember that TV show Caillou, and he had a little sister named Rosie, and she will get mad all the time. So he will call me Rosie. Um, and it was funny, but not so much when I realized that actually just being angry or reacting to some situations was not helpful. Not for my husband, not for my family, not for me. It was just not very nice. So I just want to be Anna, and it took me a little work, but I don't remember, the last time he called me Rosie. So I just want to show you the little steps that I have been doing to regulate my mood and just to help me to create a better state of mind. So, what do you do when you're stressed out? What do you do when you're about to lose it? What happens when you're out of the window? My therapist puts it like this, like there is a window of tolerance, and then you're out of the window, you just lose it. So, do you react versus respond? Or do you regret later what you said? Oh, that was me. I used to say horrible things, and it was just not nice. Or do you lose control? I remember when my girls were little, and I would be like, "Oh, stop it, and stop it," and then just go to the reaction. I'm like, "Stop it," and just start screaming and getting all angry, versus realizing what was happening in my body, in my mind, and in the situation. So I have the perfect solution. And I'm going to tell you right here in 2 seconds. Okay, here comes. Like the first thing that you need to know is the word awareness. I know that is having a little bit of like trendiness right now, how to be aware. And it's just a very simple word, but do we really practice it? I know I didn't. So how can you become aware of what's happening to, especially to your body? Here are the first things to do. Acknowledge that something's happening by scanning your body. You go from the tip of your toes all the way to the top of your head. So the way that I do is like I recognize it now that something is happening because I feel heat in my chest. And then I find myself, crunching up on my shoulders. So now when I recognize, because the physical reaction comes first, before the mental reaction. So I am able to like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Something's about to happen here. So now what I do is the first step I take is breathe and count. I do 4 breaths, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that just gives me a second of like, okay, what is happening, and start asking questions, look around. Who am I having, that confrontation with, or is it myself that I'm frustrated? Then if that once that I have that situation and my body keeps reacting, I go and wash my hands. I go and wash my hands and I make a moment of it, like rubbing my hands, feeling, smelling the soap, feeling the water, acknowledging that I have hands. And that brings me to a state of gratitude, right? Like the first thing I see is like, oh, thank you, Lord, I have hands. And, just acknowledge the soap and the water. You start changing your mind by that little moment. And this is actually a technique that I have practiced in confrontations with people. And I just excuse myself for a second and I go to the restroom to just do that. And just, it has helped me tremendously to regroup and come back and just make better decisions with my words. Then the next thing is that I just notice the other person as well. Like, what are they doing? What are they feeling? How are they reacting? And I might become curious about what's happening. So that just happens, in awareness. But awareness it's not only helping you to when you're in conflict. Awareness helps you in every situation. And when you're eating, when you're not resting or resting, you figure out that you have been sitting on your phone for a long time. So practicing awareness, it helps us to just make better choices and be more in tune with our bodies and our minds and our spirits. So here are some other action steps that once that you recognize what's happening in your body and how to make a comeback, to be aligned with everything and just have a better outcome on your situation. It's that once that you recognize, you are aware of what's happening, what you're doing, what the other person is doing, you can now be in the present. And now in the present, you can start praying. You can clearly assess the situation. Now you can find like the outcome. Where is this going? Like what the direction that your conversation is going, and try to figure out a solution if there's a problem, or what steps you need to take in order to just find the best outcome of it. Some people have said that, you make a pause and try to find what's the worst that can happen. And then when you realize that the worst is not that bad, it helps you to make a better choice, a better way of thinking of the situation. But in my case, I used to do that and it's worked for me. I have to tell you, yes, because I tend to enter into a very dramatic experience. And, I don't know if it happened to you, but sometimes I'm just driving on the freeway and I see a big old truck like right in front of me carrying those big pipes. And my brain is already like, oh my gosh, what if one of those things get loose on the truck and hits me? And then if I die, what's going to happen? I'm not going to see my grandkids, my daughters. Like what's like, I make this huge stories in my head of panicking. So that's why awareness has to be like real important for people like me, because I have a lot of imagination and it's a great power, but it also can used to be very dramatic and create scenarios that are catastrophic. And did you know that 99% of the things that we think don't happen? Yeah. So awareness and being in the now and the present has helped me a lot to make better decisions. So I hope these little tips help you and to find a solution and get a hold of yourself and just be more aware. Thank you for watching, and I hope or listening, and I hope that we can see you again on the next episode. I'm gonna come in doing small little bites of what wellness is with the mind, the spirit, and the body. So I hope these are helpful for you. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to love Jesus, obey Jesus, and tell everyone about him. Bye.